other high-ranking officials in Louisiana. Congressman Troy Carter was also there to greet him and is joining us via Zoom this morning to look ahead at what all this means for Louisiana. The connection between France and Louisiana is strong. The connection between France and America is strong.
Yeah, it's an incredible relationship that we share. The beauty of having the French president come to Louisiana after being at the state dinner in Washington and being in the French Quarter, I will tell you, he was such a natural, wading through the crowds, shaking hands, hugging people. He really appeared as if he were a native son returning home. It was a very strong moment. Obviously for the visual, but actually the reality of knowing that the exchanges on climate, the economic opportunity, the enhancement of speaking French are all things that are very important to France and, quite frankly, important to us. They have been a leader in environment, and we can certainly learn from the things that they've done.
And I have some friends who were with the French president during his trip to New Orleans. I mean, he was very happy to be here, very impressed, very outgoing to so many people. And this was an important visit, not just for Louisiana, but for the U.S., because relations were strained after the Biden administration kind of blindsided them with that a deal they had for a submarine from France, and then it went somewhere else.
Well, and I think it demonstrates that we're pliable. It demonstrates that this president, this administration, both France and America, are tough enough to withstand some bumps along the road. What we see today and what we saw during this visit in Washington and in Louisiana is that relationships are in fact strong. That this president loves America, certainly has an affinity for the French Quarter in New Orleans, and as demonstrated by the oceans of people standing in line to meet him, that affinity is certainly reciprocated.
And right now, how much business is there between Louisiana and France specifically?
You know, the Economic Development Office of the governor was there and spoke of the fact that there is, in fact, relationships, but the potential to do so much more is there. So having this historic MOU signed to talk about climate, to talk about our coast, having CPRA present to be a part of that really demonstrates the partnership from a climate standpoint, but also having Don Pierce, the Secretary of Economic Development present, speaks to the desire to really enhance and build more economic opportunities between France and America, and more specifically, Louisiana.
And President Macron on 60 Minutes last night did praise the Biden administration for its efforts in fighting the Russians in Ukraine. He said, you know, for Americans, it's on the other side of the world. For people in France, it's in Europe.
And it demonstrates the relationship and the necessity for America to step up and defend democracy all over the country, wherever it may be all over the world. And that is what we're doing. When we allow despots and allow dictators to infringe on other democratic places, it threatens the democracy all over the country and all over the world. And I'm glad to see that the French president, along with our other allies, recognize the importance of pushing back against these anti-American, anti-democratic actions such as we see in Ukraine.
And quickly, with a shift of power in the House, do you think that will continue from this country?
Well, you may recall after our first major infusion of cash, we did a huge show of unity on the steps of the Capitol. Republicans and Democrats hand in hand standing, saying that this is a bipartisan effort. I'm hopeful that there will be no change with the change of leadership, that we'll continue to recognize that democracy is meritorious and protecting all over the world. The actions that the Biden administration took, along with a bipartisan group of Republicans and Democrats in the U.S. Congress, demonstrated that we support that. I'm prayerful that there will not be a change in our efforts to continue to protect democracy.
Although there has been some rumblings within the Republican Party on that. But thank you, Congressman Troy Carter. We appreciate you talking with us this morning.
Always good to be with you, Eric. Have a great day.
All right, let's get over.